The world of global trade is in a constant state of flux. Recent years have seen a dramatic shift in this landscape. These changes have sent ripples through the global economy. From rising protectionism to shifting alliances, the old order of international trade is being challenged. This new era requires adaptability and strategic thinking. Countries are adjusting their approaches to navigate this complex and evolving terrain. The decision by the United States to impose tariffs on goods from China and other countries marked a significant escalation in global trade tensions. The Trump administration argued that these tariffs were necessary to protect American jobs and industries from unfair trade practices. They pointed to China's large trade surplus with the United States as evidence of these practices. The tariffs were also intended to pressure China to change its policies on intellectual property protection and forced technology transfer. However, the tariffs have also had unintended consequences. They have disrupted global supply chains as companies have had to scramble to find alternative sources for their products. This has led to delays and increased costs for businesses. Consumers have also felt the impact, as the tariffs have driven up the prices of imported goods. The tariffs have also hurt American businesses that rely on imports from China. The trade war between the United States and China has had a ripple effect throughout the global economy. It has created uncertainty and volatility in financial markets. It has also led to a decline in global trade. The International Monetary Fund has warned that the trade war could shave as much as 0.8% off of global GDP growth. The tariffs have also strained relationships between the United States and its allies. Canada, Mexico, and the European Union have all imposed retaliatory tariffs on United States goods. These tariffs have hurt American businesses and farmers. The World Trade Organization is the international organization that regulates trade between nations. It was established in 1995 as the successor to the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. The WTO's goal is to help its members use trade as a means to raise living standards, create jobs, and improve people's lives. It does this by providing a forum for member countries to negotiate trade agreements and by settling trade disputes. The WTO has been credited with helping to reduce tariffs and other barriers to trade. This has led to an increase in global trade and economic growth. However, the WTO has also been criticized for its impact on developing countries. Critics argue that the WTO's rules favor developed countries and that they have led to job losses in developing countries. The WTO is facing a number of challenges. One challenge is the rise of protectionism. As mentioned earlier, the United States has imposed tariffs on goods from China and other countries. This has led to retaliation from China and other countries. The escalation of trade tensions has made it difficult for the WTO to function effectively. Another challenge facing the WTO is the increasing complexity of trade issues. In the past, trade agreements were primarily focused on reducing tariffs. However, trade agreements are now much more complex. They cover a wide range of issues such as intellectual property, investment, and labor standards. This complexity has made it more difficult for the WTO to negotiate and enforce trade agreements. The WTO's dispute settlement system is also under strain. The United States has blocked the appointment of new judges to the WTO's appellate body. This has prevented the appellate body from functioning. The appellate body is the WTO's highest court. It is responsible for hearing appeals from decisions made by WTO dispute settlement panels. Without a functioning appellate body, the WTO's dispute settlement system is at risk of collapse. The rise of protectionism. A step backwards? Protectionism, the economic policy of shielding domestic industries from foreign competition, has been on the rise in recent years. Governments adopt protectionist measures such as tariffs and quotas, with the intention of safeguarding jobs, protecting infant industries, or addressing national security concerns. However, the resurgence of protectionism has sparked debates about its long-term consequences for the global economy. Proponents of protectionism argue that it is essential for protecting domestic industries and jobs from unfair competition. They contend that free trade can lead to job losses in certain sectors, particularly in manufacturing, as companies may relocate production to countries with lower labor costs. Protectionist measures, they believe, help to create a level playing field and ensure the viability of domestic industries. However, critics of protectionism argue that it ultimately harms the economy by reducing competition, stifling innovation, and raising prices for consumers. When industries are shielded from foreign competition, they may have less incentive to innovate and improve efficiency. Furthermore, tariffs on imported goods can lead to higher prices for consumers, reducing their purchasing power and potentially slowing economic growth. The rise of protectionism has raised concerns about a potential trade war, where countries engage in retaliatory tariffs and other protectionist measures. This could disrupt global supply chains, reduce international trade, and harm economic growth worldwide. The history of the 1930s, when protectionist policies contributed to the Great Depression, serves as a stark reminder of the potential consequences of escalating trade barriers. Canada's response: diversification as a key strategy. In the face of shifting global trade patterns and rising protectionism, Canada has adopted a proactive approach focused on diversification as a key strategy. Recognizing the importance of reducing reliance on any single trading partner, Canada has pursued new trade agreements and strengthened existing relationships to expand its economic opportunities. One of the cornerstones of Canada's diversification strategy has been the negotiation and implementation of free trade agreements with countries and regions around the world. These agreements aim to reduce trade barriers, promote investment flows, and create new markets for Canadian businesses. By diversifying its trading partners, Canada aims to mitigate the risks associated with economic downturns or protectionist policies in any single market. Beyond seeking new trade agreements, Canada has also focused on strengthening its existing economic relationships with key partners. This includes deepening ties with countries in Europe, Asia, and Latin America through high-level dialogues, business delegations, and collaborative initiatives in areas such as innovation, education, and infrastructure development. Canada's diversification strategy extends beyond traditional trade in goods to encompass services, investment, and digital trade. Recognizing the growing importance of these sectors in the global economy, Canada has taken steps to promote Canadian service providers, attract foreign investment, and create a favorable environment for digital businesses to thrive.